Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. The Cuddy D Show reaches over 5 million viewers in New Jersey and is set to launch into a major television network. Two guys and two girls from the Jersey Shore keeping it real each and every show. They discuss top news stories while inputting their own humorous slants on various current events. They say the things that people at home are thinking but don't say. Now tonight, Cuddy D joins us to tell us more. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
I definitely appreciate you joining us tonight. Now listen, tell us about, for those who haven't seen the show, which the 5 million viewers that you have.
That's it.
Tell us about your background.
Well, my background, Stephen, I've always been a fan as far as television talk shows and just being in front of the camera and just taking full advantage of the amendment, giving us all the freedom of speech. I mean, I've actually grown up, I was kind of like an introvert. I mean, always afraid to say things, stuff like that. Always worried about what other people thought, what I said, and this and that. But you know what? I mean, it's like now I've gained my age. Now I'm in the Generation X crowd. So you know what? It's like I think I've learned enough and seen enough that, you know what, it's time for me to really put it out there. And as far as, you know, one of my inspirations back in the day as far as comedians, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, and back in the day as far as talk shows, you know, Jon Stewart and stuff like that, and these guys, and Dave Chappelle, huge fan. So it's like, you know what? So now it's like about 8 or so, 9 years ago, I started the show actually in my basement studio, believe it or not, Steve. So. And it actually started out as basically just something fun to do because it's something I always wanted to do and stuff like that. I started the show out back then with actually my brother, who's still involved with the show right now. He's one of my co-hosts. And it just started, you know, snowballing, Steve. We started getting a fan base here on local access TV here in New Jersey. And I said, you know what? And everybody, even up on the street, even public access TV, we were getting really good responses. So I said, you know what? Let's try to take this to the next level. So now I reached out to the local public access television networks here and the cable stations here. They actually have a tiny little studio space over here that they give people who produce shows on public access free use of their studio. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take full advantage of that. So when that happened, Stephen, I reached out as far as I said, you know what? 2 guys on TV, that's kind of boring and kind of ugly. So I was like, you know what? it's time to get some good-looking females on the show. So so the funny thing about that is it's kind of funny, but it's true. The 2 females that I actually reached out to and got to be co-hosts on my show, and actually my 3 guys on my production crew, believe it or not, I got them all. I really don't want to. I'm not here to promote anything, but I got them on a social media on Craigslist. Believe it or not.
Wow, okay.
So you know what? There is some good things to say about, you know, social media as far as, you know, as far as those type avenue outlets. So you know what? We just took it to the next step, Steve. We started filming in the studio. We started doing that, and it just took off. And now it's like, you know, we've been going at it for the 4 co-hosts, and like you said before. Like, you know, when I first started, Steve, it's kind of like, you know, I got tired of like the same old, you know, as far as, you know, television talk shows means, like it's still popular today. You got the one host, you know, one monologue, one mindset, one perspective of things. So I just figured, you know what, our show, you know, we offer multiple points of views where our audience, I'm thinking hopefully they can perhaps relate to us a little bit better than other shows where, like you said, we just say the things that people at home are thinking in their minds but don't say. So we try to become their voice, you know? I mean, it's like our show is controversial, it's informative, and, you know, we try to make people laugh too, because life sometimes is just way too depressing and things like that. You watch certain networks. So we try to make people laugh too, and also we get our zingers in there at the same time, you know, Steve.
Of course. You got to. So when you said you added the ladies to the panel, to the show, was it an easy transition, or did it take time for you all to kind of find your gist, or how did that work initially?
Well, you know what, just like everything else, it's like, you know, we kind of had an interview process as far as going on, you know, having our sit-downs and pre-production get-togethers and meetings, and you know what, it's kind of like in the beginning, I say to everybody, Listen, once that camera starts rolling, I mean, don't think about your family life, your kids, and this and that. It's not like that. So it's like, of course, there's some touchy things where certain people just don't like to talk about. I mean, it might be personal in their life. So there are some things that came up beforehand where certain individuals might not like to speak about certain things. And, and I looked at it this way, that won't make for good TV. I mean, if there's something that you really don't like to talk about, you feel uncomfortable, then you know what? Then I'm going to sway away from a topic like that because, it won't make for good TV if we're talking about one thing and you just sit there and keep your mouth shut.
Right, exactly.
So that's not really, that's what the Cuddy D show is all about. So yeah, there are some sensitive topics, but you know what? The two girls that we've been doing the show with now for years, we can say and do anything we want in front of them.
Yeah,
and it's all good, Steve. So
and in the climate we're in now, there's so much going on, politics and everything. Are there ever any topics that I know you said if it's something that's sensitive to a somebody on the team, but are there any topics that you purposely stick away from, maybe too controversial or you just don't want to go there? Is there anything that, that you can think of?
You know what? I mean, in the beginning, there were some topics as far as maybe as far as like domestic abuse, violence towards women and and things like that. But actually, Courtney, one of my commentators, she's actually an excellent public speaker, and one of her specialties is public speaking against violence against women and then domestic abuse. So in the beginning, I was a little touchy on that. But now, we pretty much, we broke through that. And a lot of times, and probably still up till today with the whole medical marijuana, recreational marijuana thing going on, stuff like that. I think that's kind of fun, kind of funny, and I always bring that up. And one of my commentators, Vicky, she does pull back a little bit sometimes with that, and they're like, you know what? Don't worry about it, Vicky. So there's certain things. I know you got kids at home. Listen, so do I. People at home. I mean, there was a recent study that just came out, Steve. I couldn't believe it the other day, that a lot of these, like, baby boomer types, 50s and 60s, even younger than that, I think it's like 50% of those parents, they not only told their kids that they did smoke marijuana and they smoke today, and actually like 30%, the actual ones that admitted it, Steve, they actually admitted that they smoke with their kids.
Yes. Melissa Etheridge, she recently did an interview, and she said that she smoked with her teenage kids.
Yeah.
She said, it's interesting. Because I was having a conversation about marijuana with my siblings this past weekend, and we're saying that I think the way we were raised to view marijuana and what it is today, they're two different things. So it's still taboo for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's starting to switch, and that's a shift, and that's why you're seeing, different states legalizing it, I think.
And Steve, I agree 100%. And you know what? It's just a matter of time before we're going to be turned into like another Amsterdam or something like that. Maybe not that far, but getting into the whole political arena too, Steve. It's so hypocritical because on the federal end it's illegal, but we got damn near 17 states. It's legal recreational, and now we have 4 states it's recreational.
Right. Exactly.
So. And you know what, Steve, I got to say this. I mean, how many times do we pick up the newspaper, listen on the news and this and that? Oh, somebody else drunk and driving gets killed. Kid just getting their license. They're out there drunk and driving, taking their own life, taking other people's lives. And even nowadays, these kids abusing all these opioids with these painkillers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's an epidemic. Yeah.
So it's like, but let me ask you something. How many times have you, heard that type subject, but somebody crashed into a pole because they just smoked a joint, they were high?
Exactly.
But I can't remember the time I heard that.
Yeah. I think alcohol, opioids, all those, they do so much more to your body than marijuana does.
I agree, Steve.
And we're already seeing how marijuana is helping people. Like you see the videos of people who have Parkinson's or have those kind of seizures, and they get them one little hit. and it's not funny, but that's the truth. You know what I mean? If you watch it, you watch it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
And you know what? I mean, it's like, put it this way. Cannabis, it grows from the ground. I mean, all these pills, it's man-made in a laboratory somewhere.
Yep.
It eats away at your liver. That's a known fact. These kids get hooked. These kids get hooked on it. They're swallowing it. They're sniffing it. They're shooting it up. And all this stuff. And it's, my brother Jim on the show, he says all the time. He's like, you know what? Like you said, Steve, how about we just ban alcohol and legalize weed?
Right.
You know what's funny as hell, Steve? Cat Williams. I'm a big fan of Cat Williams.
Yeah.
He's just funny as hell. Do you remember when he said, "What does weed do to you? It makes you laugh. It makes you hungry. It makes you go to sleep."
Exactly. You're not trying to rob anybody. If you're tired, you sleep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I tell you, Steve, it's ridiculous. But you know what? I don't know if we'll see it on the federal end in our lifetime. But I think eventually it will, because it's like, you know what it is? These politicians out there, man, all they care about is the vote. They don't want to be the one to put their name on that stamp that they legalized weed.
Yeah, that's
because they're not going to get voted in, which means that their hand is no longer going to be in the cookie jar.
Right. Exactly.
and help out their buddies. You know what I'm saying? That's why they don't care. We can talk about politics all night, but that's all they care about, man. I mean, that's.
Absolutely.
So it's not like they don't want to help the people. And like you said, as far as helping kids, I just watched an episode last night. They're having studies now saying that medical marijuana is helping these young kids with autism.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And this one lady, I forgot what state she was in, but she was in a state where it was medical marijuana was legal, but there was no dispensary in her state. So she was actually forced. She was driving illegally to Colorado, packing up her suitcase and taking a risk to come and help her child. And within 2 weeks, they were seeing positive results.
See, that's definitely something they have to look at. I mean, it's just too many good things that come from it. Obviously, I think it should be monitored, especially at a teenage level. But there's so much research that needs to be done, and it has been done. And just but anyway, we went on a tangent about marijuana. They're gonna think we're a bunch of potheads.
That's it, Steve.
But let's go back to the show. So, when does the show actually air?
Well, actually, we air on 2 local cable networks here on Tuesdays and Thursday nights over here in New Jersey. 8:30 and 10 o'clock at night on these 2 local cable networks. And presently, Steve, right now we do 30-minute shows, but in the future, perhaps, we have enough topics to go a full hour, but they only grant us 30-minute shows right now on public access TV over here in Jersey right now.
Okay. And where do you see the Cuddy D show going? Because obviously it's grown so much. I mean, I'm sure more than you could fathom. Where do you see it ultimately going to be?
Well, where I see it, and ultimately, in reality, I mean, within a couple years, I mean, ultimately, I feel it deserves and it belongs to be on, a major network where we can get it perhaps, syndicated across the country. I mean, it's just to get it out there and just to get our word out and just getting in front of more people. I think that's where we're at right now, Steve. I mean, as far as just promoting our trailer that we just created on the show, actually about a month ago. So right now we're in full promotion mode of our trailer right now as far as getting it out there and just getting in front of some right people and just getting our word out there, getting our format out there for everyone to see and hopefully enjoy and hopefully just keep the good word going of the Cuddy D show and hopefully bigger and better things and onto a major network out there and just for everyone to see and enjoy and laugh and have fun and enjoy it, because life's too short.
Yeah, it is too short. Are we able to stream it online anywhere, or is that something that you all talked about? Or?
Well, yes, we do. As far as our website is www.thecuddydshow.com, and we're on Facebook. We're on Facebook, and we're on Twitter. And so we actually have the social media outlets going right now. So we're all over social media on that end there with technology today. So we're out there everywhere and anywhere. We're getting there, Steve, hopefully.
That's awesome. Tell everybody, Cuddy D, what you want them to know, leaving this interview tonight, what you want them to know about the Cuddy D Show.
Well, I just want them to know that what we do is what we do on our show. As far as we talk about it, we talk about pop culture, the news, the politics, recent studies and statistics. We talk about sports, and our previous audience members wrote into the show saying that as far as our show, we're new, we're trendy, we're like a fresh of breath air, and we keep it real, and that's the bottom line. And we're controversial, we're informative, and we're funny. I mean, it's the hardworking people out there. You want to come home, you want to watch a show that's funny, controversial, and stuff like that. And it's real. We're not celebrities. We're not superstars. So we're real, everyday people working our jobs to support our families and our livelihood. And we hold everyone accountable on our show. So we take full advantage of the amendment giving us all the freedom of speech. So we take it to the fullest. We take it to the edge. So if they want a show that represents them and their values and their views of regular people, everyday people working hard, then give us a try. Give us one episode and we'll get you.
I heard that.
That's
well, listen,
it.
Cuddy D, thank you so much, man, for joining us tonight. I wish you continued success with the Cuddy D Show. I have family in Jersey, so I'm going to spread the word. When I come up there, I'm going to watch it. and,
Steve, excellent. Thank you very much, and it was an honor being on your show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. We'll be right back after this.